Ravi, I'm here, Ravi.
Yeah, can you? Yeah, okay, fine. Just wanted to know if you can see the screen.
No, I'm just putting on mute, so you're not hearing any background noise. That's nice.
Okay, no issues. So I hope that you are able to see the screen.
Yeah, I'm able to see my screen. Yeah.
So I'll just start off with some rules for today. I'll just start off with some basic rules that we'll be, going through today. And I mean, it would be an important thing today because we'll be entering into an area wherein it will be very important for you to learn this thing because it will be the thing that you'll be using very extensively in your projects. Okay, it's called as the rules in TM1. Okay, so let's start off with a very simple rule writing concepts. So I'll just create a simple cube. I'll take the month dimension. I'll take the price and cost measures. Okay, and I'll create this as price and cost role driven cube. Okay, alright. Just say create cube. Okay, so I have two dimensions in here. There's one dimension, there's a price and cost measures. Okay, so in my price and cost measures I have unit cost and I have unit prices. Okay, so how to create a rule for a particular cube is a very simple thing. So right click the cube and say create rule. Okay, so this opens your rules editor. Sorry, it got disconnected. So I was just talking about like the types of what all these things are in the rules editor. Which is N stands for simple element, C stands for consolidation element, and S stands for string elements.
That I got it. My confusion was only.
You can just get in the rules in your dimension editor and see the insert element. You see the element type is simple, consolidated, and string. So your N, C, S is nothing but your element type. Okay. So just cancel this off. Okay. Let's create a rules editor. Go to the rules editor and let's create a very simple rule. So I have this all the other operators as well: plus, minus, multiplication, there's division, there's square brackets. I mean, you can give the font the way you write, and there are two other functions, which is the there's ellipsis that which opens the dimensions within your cubes, and there's a db function which we would come across maybe later. So let's first check out what this is all about. So I'll just click on the ellipsis. This opens my existing cube, reference to the cube, price and cost rule driven cube. So I have these two dimensions coming in here. One is the month dimension and one is the price and cost measures. So let's say, for example, I have to write some rules for the unit cost. So just select unit cost. I'll say OK. I'll say OK once again. So this brings my unit cost element in here. Okay. So I'll just write a rule here is equal to pin. Alright. A very simple rule. I'm just assigning the value unit cost as 10. Okay. So just save it. And let's go to our
Hey, Ravi, are you here, Ravi?
hello.
Ravi, can't you get it?
Yeah.
Ravi, can you just tell me the screen was going here and there. Can you once again go through the rules, Ravi, please?
Yeah, I'm just getting into it.
The screen was it was like all of a sudden it was hanging, then it came to rule editor. Can you show from the how you started the rule editor, please?
Okay, so just cancel this off. I'll just say exit, say no.
Yeah, sure. Please, sorry about it. So it was going.
No issues, man. It's a simple thing. So how do we create a rule is a very simple thing. We go to the cube and we do a right click and we say create a rule. All right. So this opens our rule editor. Okay.
Okay. Basically, the rules are calculations, correct, right?
Correct. Just in the Excel, just
calculation and conditions. Business rules.
Correct. Yeah, okay. Correct. So it's like the Excel rules that you write, like I mean, simple Excel rules of summation, multiplication, or some kind of an if else in the Excel that you write. Similar to that is a TM1 rule. Okay. So what I was saying was like let's assign a simple rule. Okay, let's write a simple rule. So what I'll do is I'll click on this ellipsis which is coming in here. This basically opens the list of dimensions that is there within the cube, within the same cube. So this opens the the dimensions that are present in the same cube. So I'll say the month's dimension, and there's a price and cost measure dimension coming in here. I'll just click on the price and cost measure dimension, and I'll click on the unit cost. I'll say okay. You'll see the rules getting formed here. So the unit cost is coming in here. I'll just say okay. So this goes into a rules editor automatically. So what I'm doing here is now I'm just assigning a value 10. All right, in the unit cost, and I'm saving the rule. Okay, very simple rule. Okay, so let's go back to the cube viewer and see the difference what it does. So you see that the values that it is assigning is 10 for all the rows for the unit cost, correct? It's a very simple rule, just simply assigning the values of the values to all the cells. Okay, but now you notice one thing that is not correct is the value of the quarter 1, of quarter 2, quarter 3. If you see the consolidated elements, it is not showing the correct value. Ideally it should show the summation of these 3 values, correct? Like for example, if I say in the unit price, if I just manually type in something, okay, and if I calculate it, so it is showing the summation of both the values, right? But now same is not the case when we have written the rule. Okay, so why is it so? Let's check out. So what our rules is saying is that assign the value 10 wherever you see the unit cost element. Okay, so it's regardless of what kind of it is, what type of an element it is, whether it is a consolidation, whether it is a simple. Okay, it is assigning 10 to everything. Okay, so just to bypass this, just to make sure that the consolidation of TM1 works fine, what we have to do is basically what our need is that it should assign the value 10 to all the n level elements and not to the consolidation element, correct? So I'll say n just after the equal to sign, I'll say n, and the colon mark, I just clicked on this button, n button, and I assigned the value 10, and I'll just calculate this. So you see now the values that are getting calculated are automatic values. Okay, these 30, this 120, this, I mean, it's using the auto calculation of TM1 now. Okay, so just make sure that whenever you are doing calculation for n level elements, or perhaps doing any kind of a calculation, make sure if you want to use the fast consolidation algorithm or the consolidation algorithm of TM1, which it sums up automatically, if you want to use that, you have to put the n here. Okay, now let's say for example I want to put something in the consolidation as well. So how do I do that? So I'll just say unit cost is equal to, for n level it is 10, and for the consolidation level element it is 25. So for n level put 10, for consolidation put 25. Let's say save, and let's just run this off. So you see now the consolidation elements are coming as 25. Okay, pretty simple rules. Okay, now let's say for example I want some other value in the quarter one element. Okay, so I'll just open the rules editor, the reference editor, and I'll just go to the months dimension. I'll select quarter one. I'll say okay. I'll go to price and cost measures. I'll say unit cost. I'll say okay. I'll say okay once again. So I selected the quarter one from the months dimension and unit cost from the price and cost measures. So on this intersection, I want a certain value to be present. So I'll say equal to, say 20. Okay, so what should have ideally happen is quarter one should show 20. That is what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so let's save this one. Let's try to run this. So I'm refreshing the queue, but nothing is happening. So what really is the problem now? Because I've written the rule perfectly. Unit cost is for N level it is 10, for C level it is 25, but quarter one it should show 20. So why the hell it is not, giving me the right results? So let's write the rule maybe. Let's try to tweak the rules. I'll write this rule first and write the rule which is there second. I'll say save. Now let's try to do it. Now did you notice that the value of the quarter one has changed now? Okay. So there is a rule here. There is a a standard here that needs to be followed. That is, you have to write your specific rules first, and then you have to write your generic rules. Now, quarter one unit cost is equal to 20 is a specific rule, correct? It's a very specific rule. It's specific to a particular cell. And unit cost is equal to N level is equal to 10 and C level is equal to 25 is a very generic rule. It's applying to all the elements. But quarter one unit cost is applying to only one element. Okay. So, regardless of how many rules you write after this, after the generic one, it will not take it. You do whatever you want. You write 100 lines of code, it will not take it. Okay. So you have to write the specific level rules at the very first, at this level, and the generic level rules at the second level. All right. Just say exit. Yes. Let's create a couple of elements within our price and cost measures. Let's say edit dimension structure. I'll add maybe a quantity. I'll add the total selling price, total cost price, total and profit percentage. Okay, and I'll say okay. I'll say okay once again. I'll save the dimension. Okay. Let's go back to the cube viewer and expand the price and cost measure and select all the elements that we have. Just make sure that I have a recalculate on. Save as and make this as a default view. Okay, so now I have the quantity, I have the selling price, I have the cost price, I have everything. Okay, so let's do some calculations now. So for that, let's first populate the quantity column. Okay, so I want to populate the quantity column. So let's begin something called as data spreading. Okay, so just right click this cell and I'll say data spread. So you see there are a couple of methods in the data spreading techniques. Okay, there's proportional spread, there's equal spread, there's a clear method, percentage change, and a lot of other methods as well. So data spreading is nothing but for the end user. The end user uses it when entering the budget. Okay, but it is important for so let's take a very simple data spreading. I'll use the repeat data spreading. So I'll say
Ravi, can you repeat the data spread along the way, please?
Yeah. So just right click on the cell and you see the data spreading option. It is nothing but simply spreading the data across the cells. Okay, it's for the end user. End user uses it to enter the budget. Okay, wherein he doesn't want to type in manually, and he wants to spread the data across the cells. Okay. So let's try out one of the option which is called as the repeat spread. I clicked on the repeat method, so you see repeat method coming in here. So let's repeat the value 25, and there's an option called as the extend option. So where do you want to extend this 25? I want to extend this downward. This should apply to all the months. So I'll say down. So 25 down. The update action would be replace the 0 with 25. Okay, and I'll say apply. So you see 25 is spread across all the cells in the downstairs, in the downward direction. Okay.
Wait, can you right click and show the data spread once again? I have one query on the functionality.
Yeah. So data spread.
So proportional spread, repeat, clear, everything is fine. Can you show the proportional spread?
Proportional spread is
so what is mean by proportional spread?
Proportional spread is nothing but let's just try this example.
So it will spread across 25. If you enter, it will divide the number of rows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's try to do that. So if I say proportional spread maybe of 100. Right now the values for everything is 25. So I think ideally it should replace it with 100. So it basically is dividing the 25 with the this thing the 100, whatever. I mean, what happens is the number of cells is how many cells are there. There's 12 cells here. It's January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Okay, so there are 12 cells there. So what it is trying to do is it is trying to proportionally spread it, and the proportional spread was 100 divided by 12. So it was 8.3. Okay, because all the values were similar in that. Okay. Now let's take an example wherein I have the value as maybe 10, 5, 3 is 18, is 12, goes to 30, 40, this is 55, 61, 70, 73, 80, 10, 10. Okay, let's say I have this thing. Okay, so let's assume that I have given the percentages. Okay, and let's try to do a proportional spread here now. So I'll say 200 down and do a proportional spread. So you see what it did. Did you notice what it tried to do? You want me to do it again? Just do it again. Proportional spread. I'll replace the value with 100. Okay, so something wrong. 280. So I should have given this as 20 maybe. This is 200 coming in. Okay, so what I did was proportional spread. Let's see, 100 down, apply. So what I did was this was 10, this was 5. I gave the percentages. Okay, 10% for January, 5% for February, 3% for March, 12% for April, 10% for May, 15% for June, 6, 9, 3, 7, 10, 10. So I just gave the percentages and it totaled up to 100 here. Okay, now let's say for example I have a value called as, maybe I have a value which is 10,000. Okay, and I want to spread it proportionally in the proportion of the values that it is containing. Okay. So what it does is internally it calculates the percentages. So the total is 100. Okay. And for January, 10 divided by 100 is 10%. So for 10,000, it will be taking the 10% out of 10,000 and it will be putting the values. Okay. So just apply this and you see that for January it is 1,500, 300 and so on. So basically it spreads across as per the proportion of the data that is already present. Okay. Is it clear? Karthik? Hello.
Ravi, that's fine, Ravi. I'm able to understand the data set. Ravi?
Yeah.
Yes, Ravi.
Yeah, tell me.
Ravi, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you. I just
Ravi?
wanted to know if you were.
Yeah.
Just wanted to know if you
now
were
it's clear. I just want to know, so in the percentage, Ravi, this is one scenario. So can I give a percentage like a certain product, this percentage should be there, certain project means this percentage should be there in the data spread?
See, proportional spread is nothing but, it's just doing on the existing value it is doing some spreading. If you have zeros here, it will not do any kind of a spreading. Correct.
Okay.
If I just clear the values, if I use the clear method and clear all the values,
okay,
it will be 0. Now if I use a proportional spread, there will be nothing that will happen. Data spread failed. Okay, so there is nothing that's going to happen here. Okay. Okay, so now that we have the quantities in place here, let's try to calculate the total cost price. So we'll write a very simple formula.